About 2 years ago, I started watching One Piece, a show that I thought I would never watch. A show that's 1,000 plus episodes can be intimidating for anyone because most people aren't watching a show that's that long. And I originally was one of those people. I didn't want to watch One Piece because it was way too long. But eventually, I decided to give it a shot. And I'm so glad that I did. The journey that this show has led me on these past 2 years has been nothing short of legendary. With endless moments and memories, One Piece has quickly become one of my all-time favorite shows. And I originally wanted to make a One Piece video once I was fully caught up with the show, but I couldn't help myself. I have a lot of favorite animes. I haven't watched too many bad ones, but there's a few that belong in a category of their own, and I think One Piece is right at the top of that. I don't know how long this video is about to be, but I really just want to talk about my experience watching One Piece. This video might be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20. I'm just gonna keep going until I can't talk about it anymore. So without further ado, let's talk about One Piece. So really, I could start anywhere with this show, but I think the first thing I want to talk about is One Piece's story. The story follows Monkey D. Luffy and his crew, the Straw Hat Pirates, as they travel across the Grand Line in search of this legendary treasure known as the One Piece. And this plot sets us up for one of the greatest adventures of all time. When I first started watching this show, one of the biggest questions that I always had in the back of my head was, how does One Piece end up being 1,000 plus episodes? Like, surely at some point the story will become unhinged and become all over the place, right? Well, that's just not the case with this show. I think the storytelling and the writing was masterfully done by Oda. Somehow, some way, he has made almost everything in One Piece make sense and connects in some way, shape, or form. And I think that is so impressive to do, especially for a show like this that's been out for 25 years now and is still currently going. In my eyes, he has created one of the greatest stories of all time. The world building in this show is simply excellent. Each island is really unique with their own cultures, environments, and challenges. I like how each island has its own aesthetic, making them all feel different from each other, with a few of my favorite islands being Water 7 and Wano. These are two islands that I would like to visit if they were actually real. If you could visit any island in One Piece, what island would you visit? Leave a comment down below. There are way too many characters in this show for me to remember, but with all the characters in this show come a lot of great ones. Personally, I find all of the Straw Hats enjoyable. I thought that eventually, one would be the oddball out, but that just hasn't happened yet. In each arc, every Straw Hat has their own opportunities to shine, and it's done in a way where no one's being left out. I think the side characters that we meet in these arcs really add a lot to the story, because it gives the story of One Piece much more depth by showing that even these characters have their own story. Luffy is my favorite anime main character of all time. For me, there's just something relatable about his character that really connects with me. Seeing everything that he's going through to achieve his goal of finding the One Piece and becoming king of the pirates, it makes me really root for his character and has made me invested in his story. The power system of Devil Fruit and Haki I think is really simple to grasp, and I like simple. I think the creativity of this power system is really what makes it shine. There are various unique abilities scattered across One Piece, which leads to a lot of crazy encounters as well as action. Seeing the way that these characters use their unique Devil Fruit and Haki abilities can lead to some very exciting and strategic battles. And over the years, as the animation for this show has improved, the battles have become even better to watch. For me, One Piece is legitimately funny. Whether it's Luffy acting stupid as hell, Zoro and Sanji just roasting each other, or Usopp just capping all the damn time, I always find myself entertained after every episode. But with all the humor that this show brings, it also brings a lot of emotional impact as well. Some of the backstories for certain characters are just straight up sad. Characters like Law, Robin, Nami, Kiros, Brook. I could keep going because there are a lot, and I mean a lot of characters in One Piece with sad backstories. And with backstories like some of these characters have, you can't help but feel for them. Truthfully, this series has surpassed any expectation that I had for it. I started watching this show in July of 2022, and honestly, I thought I wouldn't like it at all. I'm not really in the pirate stuff, I really don't care for it that much. So I was like, there's just no way I'm about to sit here and watch this long ass show. But here I am 2 years later in Act 2 of Wano. I more than likely could have been fully caught up by now, but at certain points I had to take breaks because I was just completely burnt out of One Piece. And I'm glad that I did take breaks. If you know that you're burnt out on a show, you shouldn't force yourself to watch it because you're not going to enjoy it. I've made this mistake before while watching shows like Bleach and Hunter x Hunter. These are shows where I've watched maybe like 50 episodes in a row and then just completely stopped because I was so burnt out of it. So that's just a little advice. There's no need to force yourself to grind a really long show. Just take your time and enjoy it. My favorite arcs in One Piece, at least to where I'm at now, obviously I'm not done with Wano and I haven't even started Egghead yet, but my favorite arcs that I've seen so far, number one without a doubt is Water 7, Whole Cake, and then Sabaody. Water 7 is my favorite arc simply because at that time I was really locked into One Piece. Like I really wanted to watch the show. And I think Water 7 is filled with some of the best stuff in One Piece. I mean, the island is beautiful. Like I said earlier, I would visit this place if it was real. We got the introduction of Frankie in this arc. We had CP9, which I think are still some of the best villains in One Piece. And of course, all of the stuff between Luffy and Usopp. And I can say some of the same things about Whole Cake. The stuff between Luffy and Sanji also really good, as well as Sanji's backstory. And the Big Mom Pirates were great villains in this arc. Sabaody I think is packed with great moments, especially moments that impact the story in the future. We get introduced to more of the pirates from the worst generation like Eustace Kid and Trafalgar Law. Luffy punching a celestial dragon all the way back into the manga. To me, that's one of the most satisfying punches that I've ever seen. But most importantly, this arc has one of my favorite One Piece scenes of all time in it. And it's the scene where Luffy tells his crew that they need to run, that they can't win this fight. And one by one, Luffy watches his entire crew, seemingly to him, get wiped off the face of the earth by Kuma. And all Luffy can really do is fall to the ground and cry. And I remember when I watched this scene for the first time, all I could think was, oh shit, this is getting real. And obviously after this, Luffy gets sent to Amazon Lily where he finds out that Ace is going to get executed. And I thought this would be the moment where Luffy gets off the ground and he gets back on his feet, saving his brother Ace. But as we know, he would end up failing at that too. And usually after a character has gone through all of that, they'll get some type of transformation or like a power boost. But that doesn't happen with Luffy. He pretty much just shuts down after this, and he starts to question his dream of becoming king of the pirates. To me, Sabaody to Marineford is some of the most important stuff in this show. And after the 2-year time skip, they meet back in Sabaody, the place where, you know, they got defeated, pretty much easily defeated. They show back up way stronger than they were before. And to me, it's just phenomenal storytelling. Sometimes I sit and think about the day where instead of saying to be continued, it's gonna say the end. And man, is that gonna hit. I've only been watching the show for 2 years, so I can't even imagine how hard that is gonna hit people that have been watching the show since it came out. But that day is coming sooner than we know it. At least I hope so. I don't know how much more story Oda has left. I mean, we could be getting a whole nother 500 episodes for all I know. But seriously, let's just appreciate this show. The journey that it has taken all of us on. What did I say at the beginning of this video? it's legendary. And a show like this doesn't come around too often. So let's all just be grateful that we get to experience a show like One Piece. In the comments, tell me some of your favorite things about One Piece. It can be characters, moments, scenes, villains, anything. I want to know your guys' experience with the show. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and check out the channel. I don't have a lot of videos up right now, but I might have something that you might want to check out. But that's all I got. See you guys in the next one. Peace.